Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat with me. For those of you, sorry, with me. Um, for those of you that I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I'm the executive producer of Float the Convention, and tonight I am one of your hosts here in the world of Floativerse and of Step Chat. Hello, Hannah True. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Stephanie. Nice to see you. Celeste Davis. Good to see you tonight. How you doing? I noticed that Matt Russell has not. Wow, three people got ahead of Matt Russell. I wonder if the time change screwed him up. Sherry, good to see you. How are you? Charlie Soria. Charlie. I'm going to bring you up again here very shortly in later on the conversation because I have something specific for you. Howdy there, Teresa T Money. How are you? Dina, good to see you. As always, it's good to see a lot of you regular faces. Again, I do apologize for. Hi, Gabby. Good to see you. I do apologize for being tardy this evening. For those of you that noticed our Instagram feed, we had an event this weekend at T-Mobile Ballpark, which is where the Seattle Mariners play, which is our baseball team. And hey, Beth, and hello, Angela. And I was very, very pleased about that. We had to set everything yesterday morning. We had to tear it down today. And so, as you can imagine, the original scheduled time to tear down was sometime between 4:45 and 5:45. So, as you can imagine, there was no way we were going to make it here in time. And then, of course, we get there at it was pouring down rain. So we said, is it still going? Is it going strong? Is it this? And they're like, well, it is kind of winding down a bit. You can come at 4 if you want, maybe 4:15. So we get there at 4 o'clock. It's done, over. We get upstairs. All of their stuff is pulled already. They're already out of there. So it's like, yeah. So of course, as you know, what does that mean? It means I postponed Step Chat because I'm probably going to be late, and then I'm not late at all. In fact, we got back here with like 45 minutes. It was like 5:15 when we got back here. I'm like, oh, well, okay. So there you go. Hello, Natasha. Nice to see you. Good to see you very much. Or good to see you very much. Good to see you. And I really very much enjoyed your entries, which I'll get to in a bit. So there we go. Yeah. So it was interesting this weekend to do this job because even though we've done, a little Microsoft job here, a little T-Mobile job here, and of course Amazon jobs all over the place. We never had Amazon. We never did a lot of work for the Amazon fulfillment centers before COVID. So that's kind of one of the new things. But this event was the first major event, the first milestone event that we've done since COVID for one of our established big regulars. You know what I mean? So today it felt, hello, Matt, you're very late. So today it felt like it was weird. It was almost surreal to do this job today because on the one hand, we should be doing this job. Like every year we do this job, right? And so it's or something very like it. It wasn't the same job, obviously, because this year was a drive-through event rather than an in-person event, but it was the same thing. But it was the same scale and everything else it would always be. So on the one hand, it was excited to be getting back to normal, was excited to see good sized paychecks again, that kind of thing. But at the same time, it was like, then you're kind of reminded of all the crap you dealt with before COVID, right? Like all the headaches you go through with some of these clients, and not the clients themselves, but like the venue and things you have to do special. I got really used to not having to go to downtown Seattle a lot, and um, believe me when I say that I didn't miss it. I don't miss going to downtown, not at all, especially with the almost daily protests that take place downtown. Um, it's just a matter of not wanting to get caught up in it. Hello, Stephanie Marquardt. Good to see you. Um, yeah, Matt, I saw that. Saw your post today. Um, the you know it, the issue of course is personal safety, personal property, that kind of thing, because basically a lot of these okay, so let me begin by saying that I'm going to tell you flat out, 97% of the people that show up at a protest in downtown Seattle, or I'm sure in Portland or any of these other cities, I have no doubt in my mind that 97% of the people that show up have the best of intentions. You know, they're there to express their opinions. They're there to vocalize their position or whatever. And I firmly believe that. Hi, Priscilla. I firmly believe that. It's the 3% that's there to cause trouble. The problem is the 3% that's there to cause trouble does a lot of trouble. And as we all know, people, individual people are intelligent. Groups of people are stupid. You know, and I'm sorry, you've got, whether you're talking about a liberal agenda protest in Seattle or a conservative protest at the nation's capital that overtook the Capitol building. Individual people. I mean, there were CEOs involved in that thing at the Capitol that were like, I got swept up in a moment. I never in a million years would have done this. And now he's out of a job and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it's individuals are intelligent. Groups of people are stupid. And that's what I worry about. I worry about those 3% that are there doing things that inspire the other people to do stupid things. And then the next thing you know, your windshield smashed in, or which is not uncommon here in Seattle, you could literally be held, for lack of a better term, held captive for 4 hours, because not only, they'll block the road and then they'll block you in, and the protesters will just line up and they'll take over a complete block and you can't get out. And of course, if you try to drive through them, you'll be in trouble. Hello, Suzette. And so yeah, that's the kind of situation we just try to avoid entirely. And the problem is, you can't tell people, we've tried to limit when we go down there. We try to limit times, like certain times a day are obviously better than others. But we're getting back to normal. And what's eventually going to happen is we're going to have teardowns at 11 o'clock at night in the middle of downtown Seattle. And I am not looking forward to those days at all. I'm hoping that as the world goes back to normal, a lot of this protesting and a lot of this stuff will subside, because these people will actually go back to work. Yeah, it's hard to say. So, and again, I'm not passing judgment on the positions. I'm not passing judgment on their, whatever. I'm just saying that, it's a legitimate concern as a small business owner to take my vehicle down into the city when that kind of stuff's going on. And you can't just tell a client, oh, by the way, sorry. There was one or two incidents. We had a couple of orders that we have turned down that, it's like, well, the delivery's at 6 p.m. to downtown Seattle. Yeah, I'm sorry, we're not doing it. I said, if we can deliver between, 9 and 1, 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., we'll be happy to do it. But if it's not, then you might want to check with another company or whatever, because just not going to do it. And again, like I said, I'm not passing judgment on the people or I'm not passing judgment on the positions they're taking. I'm not passing judgment on their beliefs or their cause. It's the few bad people that are causing the problems, but they're causing a lot of problems. And I tell you what, I don't know how anybody could own a business in downtown Seattle right now and not every night when the sun goes down worry that, am I going to come back tomorrow and have windows? Am I going to come back tomorrow and be looted? Am I going to come back tomorrow and everything? There was a what's really funny is not funny, haha, funny, but years ago when I first moved here, for about the first 5 years I lived here, I did a fashion show every year. There was a group that did a monthly fashion show, and I did the fashion show in October, because I always joked that my stuff was more like costumes than anything. I was there mostly. I always saw myself there as clown shoes anyway. I didn't think that but eventually people kept coming back to the October show because they wanted to see all the balloon dressing. But it was always held at this nightclub, which was this incredibly, it's a very gay nightclub, and it's a huge, their biggest thing is inclusivity, right? They're absolutely all about, we don't care who you are, we don't care what you believe in, we don't care who you like or who you love, we don't care who you're married to, we don't care who you sleep with, we don't care what color you are or whatever. You're welcome here. Okay? Decimated by rioting and protesting downtown. Like the one place that is like, because and these riots and protests were all about people being treated equally, and then you completely destroyed a business who stood for that equality. It just doesn't make sense. So it's unfortunate. Dina, that's an interesting thing. Come to Missouri, there was just a law passed allowing you to drive through protests. That will never happen here. Here in Seattle, protesters' rights are considered more important than my rights as a citizen. And they've proven that time and time again. Yeah. Again, there have been people here who have openly said, I fear for my life. And they would literally just take the foot off the brake and roll through the crowd, like literally roll. And you can, I mean, there's footage of them, just their vehicle being smashed apart, windows being smashed, headlights being smashed, all kinds of stuff happening. And then 2 blocks down the road, they get pulled over and arrested because they just drove through a crowd of protesters. So that's, and then they get brought up on charges, but none of the people that were smashing the vehicle, of course, are brought up on charges. Why I'm not looking forward to going back downtown. So, like I said, no judgment being passed on anybody's positions, just the actions that are being taken. So, okay, so with all that being said, let's get to the important stuff, which is float stuff. So tonight I got a few things that I know that for some of you I'm going to sound a little redundant, but we're going to talk about it. So let's start with the Float Foundation. First of all, for those of you that don't know what the Float Foundation even is, the Float Foundation are our virtual classes that are now being offered every month, courtesy of Float. So right now there's 3 classes that I want to talk about. The first one is Melissa Vinson's. Melissa Vinson's foundation class from February. The free replay for that ended on Friday. Okay, so the free replay is over. So if you took that class and you were hoping to, I want to watch it one more time, now you got to buy it. Okay, but remember, if you enrolled in that class, this is the week where you get the chance to buy a digital download of that class for just $5. Okay, so make sure you look for the email that was sent to you on Saturday. Okay, there will be a reminder email sent to you on Wednesday that you have until Friday to buy a copy of that video for $5. Okay, $5. Also, don't forget that in that same email is a coupon good for 33% off any other digital download through balloondvds.com. So you can use the coupon code to get 90% off Melissa's class, and you can use the 33% coupon for any other classes you missed or any other digital downloads you might want to purchase. Okay, and that implies, and you can use it over and over and over again. The coupon, you can use it on 2 videos. You can come back tomorrow and buy 3 more or whatever. There's no limit. Okay, so take advantage of that. Stephanie, hey Christy, good to see you. How are you? Miss Stephanie, I missed the code. If you got the email, which was sent on Saturday, it's in the email. Okay, look for the Balloon DVDs logo in the email, and that's where that would be. Okay, and of course the code for the digital download for Melissa is the picture of Melissa that says "Want more of Melissa?" ? Okay, there's that. Okay, so there you go. So that's number 1. So Melissa's class, you have until Friday to buy it for $5 if you took the class. For those of you that took Jeff Kelly's class, which is all of you that are at least pre-registered for Float, because remember, this was a free class given to you courtesy of Asset Lab and the Float Foundation to everyone who is at least pre-registered for Float. That email went out about a week and a half ago. There's another email reminder going out this Friday. There will be an additional email going out next Friday, and then another one the Wednesday after that, reminding you that, hey, your time is almost up for the free replay. So right now you've got about just over or just under 3 weeks left to watch the free replay with Jeff Kelly on Supercharger website. Okay, So make sure you take advantage of that. Like I said, the replay is going to be in there for a while. So just, you've still got some time, and I'll remind you again and again. But remember, that's the thing. And don't forget too, Jeff is also offering a free 30-minute consultation, and it's at the end of the video. So the information to access that is at the end of the video. So that's reason enough right there. So if you guys want to check it out, and you have to know Jeff. Jeff is not a sales pitchy guy. He's really not. He's just that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why he's doing it. Got the email, didn't read the email, slapping my own hand. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. I'm gonna touch on this subject a little bit later, not with you, Miss Stephanie, but in general. So that's it. But it happens a lot. Happens all the time. Okay, and then finally, our next Float Foundation class coming up on April 20th is with Shannon and Roz Lambert out of New York, and they're doing the vinyl customization class. I know a lot of you are very excited about this class, and you should be. They make a lot of money doing vinyl appliques on balloons. So they're a good group of people to teach this class and to learn from. It's not, they've kind of they asked me how should we approach this? And my whole take on it was basically just spend maybe the first 15 minutes or so with what little basics people need to know, but then move on. And then they're going to go into tips and tricks and how they do things and the best fonts to use for whatever applications and that kind of thing, and sources to get them and all kinds of things. So, good, Hannah. I'm glad to see that you're looking forward to that. I am too, to be honest with you. I can't lie. Alexa does all our vinyl work. I don't know the first thing about it. I know how to plug the machine in and turn it on. That's about it. I really don't have. I don't know how to use it at all. So I need to actually. I'm looking forward to this class too and learning myself. So there's that. So you have until April 18th to sign up for the class, which is about 2 weeks from today? 3 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. I'll get it right eventually. If I just keep guessing numbers, I'll get it right. So yes, 3 weeks from today, get signed up in the Orange store, right? floatconvention.com/orange-store. And hopefully Dina will help me out and type it in the group again. Hannah, true, I have the machine but don't know how to use it. Would make a life easier. Hannah, it's funny you mentioned that because we've had this conversation. In fact, Shannon and Roz and Alexa and I had this very conversation. It is amazing how many people buy equipment and then never open it. I swear to God, I bought a tube roller after taking Mahoney's class 4 years ago. Still in the box. Still in the box. Haven't needed it. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. But I was all excited about buying it. All excited. Now I know how to use it. Still in the box. Probably going to sell it. Probably get rid of it. I don't even, like I said, I don't even know how to use it. Crystal Rutan. Looking forward to the class. I'm still not going to make them, though. Yeah, Crystal, you've got somebody, though, that you pimp out for that, right? You've got somebody that you actually pay to do it. And as long as your clients are willing to pay for that, I don't blame you one bit. When I was back in Cincinnati, I had a sign guy and to this day, he still does our Seahawks ones. When we do our 3-footers with the Seahawks stuff on it, he still prints them. He still does it. And I'll still continue to have him do it because the price he does them for is so inexpensive compared to the amount of time it's going to spend me to do it. It's not worth it. Have him do it. Call it done. So, Miss Stephanie, yes on the tube roller, equipment from hell. How do you work that thing? Mahoney can make it sing. Mahoney can make it sing. I'll tell you that. And I got to play with it before in class and stuff, but I don't. Again, I don't. I could see where it would come in very handy. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking at a ring frame right here in front of me that was clearly made on a tube roller, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how that would be a lot of help, but I ain't gonna do it. I think I'd rather just pay somebody and call it a day. So, at some point, Hannah True, what is a tube roller like for EMT? Yes, exactly. A tube roller is a bending device. So if you've seen a foot bender, I'm sure, the little handle with the curler on it. You put it down, you bend it, and you make your little shapes, right? You bend it, you get little corners. With a tube roller, you get a perfectly round curl to it. It's really nice. It's really pretty. And again, I'm looking right here at a frame that's obviously made from a tube roller that we bought just recently from a business. We bought it from a balloon person out of business who just taught on Q Corner. Still trying to figure that one out. Thank you, Dina. I saw the post. Thank you very much. Gabby, good to see you, Gabby Rivera. Question, are we available to purchase the academic float book yet? If so, where? No, you are not. The reason for this is we do not yet have a printer for those yet. In St. Louis, we had a regular company that would print our books, and we could always, even if we didn't know exactly how much it was going to be, we could make a really good educated guess. The problem is now two things. Number one, we're moving to a brand new city. And number two, we're learning, I don't know about you guys, but has anybody else seen their costs of everything go up because of COVID? So we don't want to guess yet and then find out that these notebooks are 30% more than we thought they were going to be or whatever. So, wow, my fingers are really bloody. Tore up my fingers somehow breaking down SDS today. So it was nice. We did one of the jobs, we did a 33-foot mosaic, or not mosaic, 33-foot mural today for them. SDS panels are 2 feet wide. I know that. But we had to add a grid trim on the edge because it wouldn't be balanced if we didn't do it that way. So it worked out nicely. But SDS is really good for beating up your hands, smashing fingers. And in this case, what I think happened was I was pushing something in. I think it caught like that. So to answer your question, Gabby, no, not yet. My presumption is sometime this summer. A lot of the floodgates, in fact, we may just do it all at one time this year. We're not going to be announcing, like, we're not going to start selling like master classes and stuff until probably September or so, because we want to be sure that, like with the COVID and everything else that's going on, the COVID restrictions and things, yeah. Oh, yes, Gabby, and thank you for that statement. It's a treasure at any cost, and yes, I agree with you. It's just like I said, we just don't know how much it's going to be yet. So I'm hoping it's going to be in the same price range. I'm hoping it's going to be about $45 for the black and white version and $85 for the color version. That's what I'm hoping. And that's what I'm telling people to plan on. You know what? I would add at least $5. I'd plan on 50 and 90. But yeah, we'll see. Still trying to keep it, reasonable, but yeah. Okay, so where are we at? Oh, yeah. So, all right. Tomorrow is your last chance to enter our Channel Your Inner Bunny contest. The last 48 hours, we've had a nice wave of competition entries. So I thank you all very much for that. There's been some really cute pieces turned in, and I have very little doubt that I think some of the, well, I don't want to say anything. I can't say anything about that. What I am going to say is that there's been some really good stuff turned in, some really cute pieces. I'm really excited to see what happens. So yeah, it's your last chance to enter is tomorrow. There are 3 categories. Number 1, bunny sculpture. Okay. Number 2, bunny balloon, or use of a bunny balloon. Okay. Now remember, this is a balloon that is shaped like okay, sorry about that. I froze for a second there. Number 2 is bunny balloon. So you have to use a balloon that's shaped like a bunny. Okay. You can't just use a balloon with a bunny print on it. It's got to be a shaped balloon of a bunny. Okay. Or the bunny head or whatever. It doesn't have to be the whole bunny. It could be those obnoxious, cheap bunny heads everybody's using or whatever. That's fine too. And then finally, the third one is essence of bunny. And there's been a little bit of confusion as to what essence of bunny is. So let me remind you what that is. Basically, it defines it as a part of a bunny. So if you have, for example, an arch and you've got 2 bunny ears coming off the arch, everybody knows it's a bunny, but it's not directly a bunny. That's essence of bunny, okay? if you've made a lucky rabbit's foot and you got a big fun bunny footprint sitting right there, that would be essence of bunny. You could have something that just, like I said, alludes to the shape. It could be a mosaic of the outline of a bunny. That's not a sculpture because you don't have all the rest of the stuff. It's just the essence, the silhouette, as it were, of the bunny. That would count as essence of bunny. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. Sorry, I have to mention that Philomena's skates and her outfit are so cute. Thank you very much for that. I am desperately trying to remember where the outfit came from. I don't know if that's one that Alexa bought her or if that's one from the Moreros. But the skates are absolutely from Lorena, a.k.a. Low Rage. She's coming to her very first float convention this time, and she is also in roller derby. So I'm very, very cool, very badass. A little bit of a crush there, gotta admit. She's pretty good. So there you go. There you go. So 3 categories. Bunny sculpture, use of a bunny-shaped balloon, essence of bunny. Okay, so those are the 3 things there. You have until tomorrow to get them turned in. Remember, you also need to turn in a branded and an unbranded version. The reason for that, there she is, Lorena, good to see you. How are you? Oh, and that means she heard me. Ah, good. Okay. Yeah, basically, at this point in the game, how this works is I need 2 versions of the picture. I need a branded and an unbranded version. And the reason why I need an unbranded version is because the judging panel is going to be sent the pictures. And what we don't want is we do not want them to be necessarily influenced by who you are. So there you go. That's how it works. Okay. So make sure you send them all. If you don't send both, I'm going to be nagging you. And honestly, I'm more concerned about, okay, and the reason we're asking for the branded photo is because when we post your pictures, we want to make sure, A, you get credit, and B, no one steals your picture without the branding on it and puts their own branding on it. Does that make sense? So we want to be respectful to you and your artwork. We want to make sure that you get credit for what you did. Yeah, there's that. So we're far more concerned from the judging perspective. It's really important that we have an unbranded photo. For your professional reputation, it's far more important that we have a branded photo. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that's tomorrow. So make sure that you go floatconvention.com/contest-page. All the rules are there. We got very little response to my question about the floaties. Last week, we posted a question in the group about the floaty awards. Hey, Tristan. What new category should we have? Because we're eliminating Fantasy Flower. And I was very underwhelmed by the amount of responses that we got. To be honest, I mean, I will also say that, okay, Christy Carpenter, Lorena Marquez, are you bringing your skates to float? I heard there might be a skate night. What Tony has forgotten. All right, let me jump in here. The skate night, Tony Cooper wants to do a skate night on Friday night before float, okay? But Tony forgets that he's also on the payroll at float. Tony is actually a salaried employee at float. Tony may not be able to go skating Friday night. So we need to have a conversation about that. There you go. I've completely. Floaties. It's not unusual though for us not to get a lot of buzz about the floaties. Years ago, we tried to actually do the floaties once a month. We actually tried to do. Miss Stephanie will send him photos. That's funny. We will. We tried to do the floaties like one in March, one in April, one in May, one in June. Nobody entered. Nobody entered. And then finally we waited till, okay, well, here's your deadline. Whoosh, massive wave of entries. So yeah, we're probably not going to do it. There you go. That'd be funny. Tristan will have a cardboard cutout of Tony there. That would be good. Um, so yeah. So I wasn't surprised, really. I guess I should say I wasn't surprised that we had kind of an underwhelming response to the floaty question. But the one thing that seemed pretty consistent, and again, that for me, the final sounding board is Alexa Rivera because again, Alexa is probably the wisest person I know. And I tell everybody she's right 99.8, or I'm sorry, she's correct 98.9% of the time. And when she's wrong, I have to check my math because she's probably right. But Robin Veach just announced it. The consistent thing we got, the consistent subject we got. And then when I asked Alexa what she thought, almost immediately, well, what about outdoor decor? Oh, God damn it. Froze up again. There we go. I don't know where I lost you. Alexa said, what about outdoor decor? And like I said, that was the one thing that it seemed like consistent that the majority of people had done. So we are going to have an outdoor decor category for the floaties, at least in honor of the year that we've had. We had debated the idea of a virtual category, like best virtual decor, but the problem is that technically qualifies as stage and backdrop, right? So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But what's going to have to happen though is we're going to have to wrangle in the definition of outdoor decor, because the problem is we did a 33-foot mural today outside. The black cat that I did at Halloween last year with the witch's hat on, an almost 5-figure installation, was outside. To me, that's against the spirit of the competition. It's not fair for the person with the biggest budget, per se, to win that competition. I can't enter anyway. And Robin, thank you. Yes, the spider was also the same day. We installed the spider and the cat both on the same day. And yeah, those pieces technically are considered outdoor decor, right? So you look at those examples, a 33-foot mural, you look at that, 15-foot tall spider, and you look at that, 14-foot tall cat. Is it fair to put them up against something that somebody did for 1 million bubbles? So we definitely have to create a parameter for the contest. So yeah. So, but that's going to be the category. Outdoor decor will be the new category. It will be replacing distortion, the fantasy flower competition. That's, like I said, in the last 3 conventions, we've had a grand total of 5 entries, which means 1 year, one person won the floaty for that because they were the only person who entered. Now, with that being said, that shouldn't diminish their accomplishment. They entered the competition. They were the best. Years ago, we used to have a rule with the sculpture competition, like with their design competitions. If we had 5, okay, well, let me try this again. If we had 6 or more entries in a competition, then we give away first, second, third. If we only had 4 or 5, we'd give away first and second. And if we only had 3, we'd give away first, and that was it. And it wasn't because we didn't want to spend money on plaques or whatever. It was because the fact that we felt like, should you really win an award for showing up? And you can go back and forth on this all you want. And finally, I was having a conversation with another event person about this topic, because like with ILEA, like the International Live Event Association, they have awards, both regional and national. And the conversation that we were having was about that very topic. Does it mean anything if you're the only entry? And someone said, did that diminish the work that person put in? And I said, no, of course not. And they said, does it You know, did okay, that's true. Maybe somebody else could have done better, but they didn't. If the only one person entered, they're the only ones with the guts enough. They're the only ones that followed through. Why wouldn't they be deserving the award? So there you go. So at one float in large sculpture, we had 3 entries. Last place took third. And to be honest with you, I've been in competitions before where I was in a sculpture competition in California once where there were 3 entries. And the third entry didn't even finish. And they still got third place because there were 3 entries. Yes, I took first place. I was very happy. For those of you that, if you know anything about my work, that was the year I did the cheeseburger. So that was, yeah. So, um, but yeah, I don't think anybody would question. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just saying when you looked at the entries, it was going to win. Um, so there's that. So there we go. New category. We'll be announcing more details on that as we get closer. Finally, well, not finally, 1 million bubbles. 1 million bubbles is coming up in less than 1 month. Okay. So I know there's been some issues with the website. Jeff was unaware that there was a problem for many of you. As if you're trying to register, it was like the ultimate roadblock. You would get everything registered, you get all the information in there because he's creating a database, is what he's trying to do, in the hopes that when people go and look on you, there's your information so they can hire you, right? That's kind of the whole point of all that information being there. The problem is this: you would be, what's your name? Steve Jones. What's your email address? Steve@floatconvention.com. Okay. Then when you get to the end, it would say, what's your username and what's your email address? So I would write Esteban, right? And then I would type in Steve@floatconvention.com and it would say, sorry, that email address is already being used. I'm like, well, yeah, by me. And so you couldn't, it wouldn't let you move forward. It wouldn't let you finalize the registration. So I believe that's been yanked out of the system. So you can completely go in there now and take care of it. So you should be able to do that. Charlie, thank you for speaking up. So believe it or not, I was a guest speaker on Friday in a class for au pairs. There were about 20 different au pairs from around the world in this class, and the teacher of the class is actually one of my she was my handler in China in 2007. And so she's teaching this class, and she brought me in because she wanted a creative type person to speak to the au pairs about my process and thinking and this and that and blah 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 whatever. And I'm like, well, you just don't have a life. That's how it works. But I'm doing this class, and it turns out one of the young ladies in the class said to me, how can I get involved in this? Could I hire somebody to do something for my yard for 1 million bubbles? And I said, yeah. I said, where are you? And she goes, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I said, I know who you should talk to. So there you go. So I will be, so Charlie, do me a favor, drop me a message in my inbox. I don't have her email information yet, because the way it worked out was that the teacher said, look, for security reasons, I can't give you hers, but I can give her yours. But what she did do is she turned around and followed me on Instagram so I can connect with her there. So I can pass along your information to her, and then you can give her some options, and she can pay you guys to do something for 1 million bubbles in her yard as her own project for 1 million bubbles. So I thought that was kind of nice. So there you go. I'll tell you what was else was, on a complete side note, was really funny. So again, I'm teaching a class, or I'm speaking to a class of au pairs from literally all over the world. Most of them are in the United States, but there's a bunch of them in other countries, but they spoke English. I mean, there were Brazilians, there were Asian, there were all cultures were on this call. I think there was a young woman from Nigeria on there. It was a really interesting conversation. And then all of a sudden, one of the girls pops up and says, I have to ask you a question. She said, you're down in Preston. And I went, how do you know that? Because I drive by your shop every day. I'm on this call, this international call, And for those of you that don't know, our shop is now in this tiny little town called Preston. I mean, literally, it is it's a pimple on the state of Washington. Like it's so small, like it's a 25-mile-an-hour zone, and then you're out. That's it, right? And we're one of like 6 businesses in it. This au pair lives 2 miles down the road from our shop. So here I am speaking in a class of au pairs from around the world, and one of them is literally 2 miles down the road and drives past us every day. I just thought that was really, really funny. So what are the odds of that happening? I was just blown away by that. So 1 million bubbles is coming up. Again, the rules are pretty simple. Once again, use your creativity to share your gift with your community. Okay. Couple things to remember that are really important about the 1 million bubbles project. Number one, please be responsible. If you are going to post things in public places, get permission to do them in public places. If it's your own place, that's where you can do whatever you want. But I know during the initial 1 million bubbles project, a lot of people were just literally like showing up at public parks and setting it up. And nobody cared because it was COVID. They were just thankful that whatever. And like in my old town of Issaquah, they basically took all the restrictions away from businesses. They were like, look, you guys do what you got to do to make money. So like I could literally do whatever I wanted. And I did on Mother's Day. If you didn't see our project on Mother's Day, we literally did a walking path for about 3/4 of a mile. It was 25 installations down a 3/4 of a mile stretch. And the intention was for people to walk and explore and read on each one and connect with each one. And it was great because people they were finding one of these to connect with. I was really proud of the project. I was really happy with it. But again, now I wouldn't bet on that stuff now. Okay. I would bet right now they're being a little more strict on that stuff. So if you're going to put stuff in a public place, get permission. If it's not your place, get permission. Number two, no balloon releases. Dear God in heaven, we already get people complaining about us. All the negative comments we've had on the Facebook group or on the Facebook page for the event is from activists. You know, this is a horrible event. You're destroying the world, blah, blah, blah. We all know this, right? So don't give them another reason to complain. Number three, do not accept money. This is not the adopt a grandparent program. This is not go out and, hey, I'm going to build this. You're going to sponsor me money so I can build this, blah, blah, blah. No, 1 million bubbles is absolutely about the act. It is not about revenue direct. Okay. It's not. It is a gift that we are giving to the community. There is no reason in the world why you cannot market yourself doing this. And in fact, you're incredible. You should. We want you to market yourself with this project. What we don't want you to do is turn around and stand there with a cup. Look what I made. Look what I made for you. Would you care to donate? That's money's got nothing to do with this project. So please don't taint the project in that regard. Okay. It's not about money. It's about the act. And finally, number four, please, this is a non-political event. So please do not use the 1 million bubbles project to push your particular agenda of politics. Okay. The whole point behind this is strictly joy, happiness, hope, love, whatever you want to do. But keep it politically free. We can all do this one time. Just make it about us giving to the world. Charlie, I know we lost a contract with a funeral home because they insisted on a balloon release. I have too. I have absolutely done it. I've lost a couple of contracts, and we've pissed off a couple people. We've called up and said, oh, we need 30 loose balloons. Well, what are you going to do? Because when people ask for loose balloons, I specifically ask what they're looking to do with them. And when they say, oh, we're doing a release, I'm sorry, we can't sell them to you. I said, no, we just can't do it. I said, believe me, I am a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, so I'd love to sell them to you. But at the end of the day, if I know what you're going to do with them, I can't sell them. And there was also, years ago, I had one client that would call me right before Christmas. And it still breaks my heart. This family lost their child on Christmas Day. And what they would do is they would call me up, and every, around the 20th or so of December, and order a dozen or so loose balloons that they would let go on, they'd pick up on Christmas Eve and they'd let them go on Christmas Day. And until I knew that basically for years we'd been lied to, you know, about the damage that it could do or the impact it can have or whatever, um, I'd sell it to them. And then I remember one year specifically, well, I think it was 2018, the family called me and I'm like, I am so sorry. As much as I would like to, and as much as I understand why you're doing it, I can't. I can't do it. I'm afraid. And she understood, but I'm sure she just called somebody else and found him that way. So let's, you know, keep it all responsible and good. And also remember too, if you, in order to be responsible, when you do the 1 million bubbles project, if you're going to set something up, make sure you're taking it down. Don't just ditch it somewhere. We've gotten used to yard art going out and never coming back, right? Because we just, but when we do yard art of that nature, we're dropping it off in somebody's lawn. Somebody at that point is going to be responsible for cleaning it up later. So it's really important that if you're going to post something somewhere and you're the one doing it and you're the one benefiting from it, make sure you clean it up. Okay, be responsible. Also, I want to remind everybody that if you remember during Float Friday, we had a live DJ. Adam, DJ Tegro. Adam is going to be joining us again on Saturday night, April 24th. We're still working out the details of how that's going to go, and I do believe that T Money herself will once again be hosting. At least I know that's what Adam wants because she did such a great job. But I don't know yet what format we're going to be doing it on. We had a lot of problems with Facebook interrupting the feed, and some people could get on and some people couldn't. And then like the new show would start and some of the people that couldn't get on could get on, but now some of the people that were on before couldn't get on. So what we're thinking about possibly, it might be done through Twitch, it might be done through something else, it might be done through Instagram, it might be done through some other. We're actually looking to expand into Instagram more from our social media perspective. And so that may be what we do. We may do Instagram live as far as DJ Tegro goes. So, but that's going to be April 24th, the night of 1 million bubbles. So I'm very excited about that. Really looking forward to it. And I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I'm very happy to share with all of you that DJ Tegro has been booked for Float. Adam will, I have bought his airline ticket, I have his hotel reservation, and he's been paid. He is coming to Float. He will be spinning for us on Monday night at the beach party. He'll be spinning somewhere on Tuesday, whether it's at lunch or whether it's in the prep party. And then Wednesday night after the award ceremony is over, he's going to be doing it there too. So we're very excited about all that. Really looking forward to it. I really enjoy it. And Adam's just such a nice guy. He really is. And again, I think I told you the story before. He's one of those people that his business was devastated, of course, because of COVID and had to go get 2 jobs because he's got a family. He's got to feed people. And I felt really badly for him, you know. And when COVID first hit, if you remember on Instagram, you had D Nice was out there doing live mixing every day for a very long time. Yes, I know who D Nice is because as old as I am, I was around when rap first came out. And see, D Nice, and they call me D Nice. D Nice, if I'm not mistaken correctly, I believe, if memory serves correctly, he was the DJ for KRS-One of Boogie Down Productions, at least at one time. I believe that's the relationship there. I'm not entirely sure anymore. Some of it's starting to blur a little bit, but D Nice was, I remember watching his video on MTV. Yeah, they call me D Nice. Anyway, if you remember, hey Marissa, good to see you. If you remember, D Nice used to do some live mixing during COVID, right? Wasn't it Club Quarantine or something like that? Adam was another one of those DJs that every day at 5 o'clock, he would go out on his Facebook feed and he would mix until Facebook kicked him off, which was always about 37 minutes into the recording. Um, and I got to tell you, I found tremendous solace in that act. I found tremendous moments of joy. Just sitting there, it's 5 o'clock, the day's over, and I'm sitting there listening to a guy live spinning. It was great. It was fantastic. It was absolutely wonderful. And I really enjoyed it. And yeah, so sorry, something very strange just happened in here. But something even stranger just happened because somebody woke up. Yes, let the hearts and things go wild now. There we go. Somebody has to stretch. Oh, and look, there's Skittles there too. Yes, believe it or not, Skittles does enjoy playing with balloons. Roscoe is now assuming the pornographic position. He is now expecting me to pet him, is what it is. This is his, like, come on, dude, it's time. So for those of you that don't quite understand what's happening there, that is what's happening there. He has assumed the position. He will eventually look over here like, dude, why aren't you petting me yet? You would think this cat is in rigor mortis, actually, looking at him like that. But and by the way, if you did not see the picture of Roscoe in the bunny ears, oh my God, you have to go to the Facebook feed and take a look at that. Yeah, I had a very weird. Basically, what happened was I was sitting here doing this broadcast, and then all of a sudden, a very, very strange chill just came right through here, as if a door had just opened, like to the outside. And it's just so weird because it just never. I have no idea how that occurred at all. And it clearly was something big because it woke him up. He popped right up too. So I was like, something was. Wonder if we had a ghost go by. Christy, there you go. It's a ghost. Maybe it was a ghost. There you go. Who knows? Yes, Roscoe is. Yes. In fact, I will share with you. Somebody might be getting his own TikTok account. I'm working on it. So there you go. Okay. I just have one more thing to talk about tonight. And this is, I'm gonna, might upset some of you, I might whatever, I don't know. But so the last week or so, let me back up. When I make a post in the group about an email, like a class or something going on, when I make a post about the email, I will. Laurel, you're right, we do. When I make a post about an email, it's like, hey, go check your inbox. There's always one person that jumps in there. I never got it. Right. And it happens a lot. And I know that people are thinking, I'm going to communicate with Steve and tell him I didn't get it. But I think almost all of you watching this video know they got the email. They got it. They either didn't read it, opened it very quickly, skimmed and forgot about it, or it's in a spam folder they haven't looked in yet. We know this. This consistently happens all the time, right? And I am well aware that the responsible way for me to handle it and the customer service way for me to handle it is, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me look into that and get back to you. But here's the problem. When I have a public post and then you go out and comment publicly, I didn't get it. You may not intend it this way, but the way it's being absorbed by me, the way it's occurring to me, you're saying to everybody, Steve didn't do his job right because I didn't get it. Okay. That's how it feels to me when I see those comments on these posts. And again, I know that what I should do is just, oh, well, let me see what I can find out for you and I'll take care of it. But the problem is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The same people continue to make these same comments over and not everybody's, I mean, not every single person is the same. I'm not saying that everybody does it all the time, but it happens almost every post we do. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And I swear to God, 99 times out of 100, they got it. Because our email system shows whether or not you opened an email. So in other words, if it shows that it was sent to you, that means you didn't open it. Okay. And if I see a consistent situation here where, well, hello, Roscoe. Somebody's going exploring. So anyway, so if it's like sent this, sent this, sent this, sent this, sent this, I froze again. Sent this, sent this, sent this, sent this, sent this. Then it's very possible that it's stuck in a spam folder or whatever. And so we have to look at that and go, okay, you know what? Check this, check that, check this, check that. Because yeah, you're clearly not getting them or you're just not reading them. But when they say, Christy, thank you so much for that, but that's how it feels. Okay. So, but when it says this person viewed the email, that means you got it and you opened it. Now, keep in mind, I am aware that sometimes if you have an auto response on, the auto response may trigger a view. So I do know that that's a thing also, but that's a possibility that that could be the case. But when I see that it's been viewed several times, so what I've started to do recently, okay, okay, I'm not sure what, okay, hold on. Let me come back to all this. So what I've started to do, for lack of a better term, is shame people. I've done it a couple times in the last couple weeks where somebody will be commenting in the thread about how they're not getting emails or whatever. And so I will, and so far, every time it's happened, I log into our email server, I click on their name, there it is. So what I started to do now is in the comments, I just take a picture, boom, there you go, screenshot, bam, screenshot, email address, boom, bam, right there in the comments. And I got somebody got really angry with me the other day about it and about how I humiliated them. And of course, what they did is they yanked the whole thing down, and they got really upset with me. And I, to a degree, I understand it because yeah, you're right. I kind of did, but I can't lie. You kind of opened the door. You know, to me, it's really a lot like, you know what it's like to me? How many of us, if we have a customer who's upset with us, do we want them messaging us privately about their complaint, or do we want them going on Yelp and talking about their complaint? If you have an issue with a customer or a debate or something, do you want them messaging you on Facebook about it, Or do you want them going into a mom's group and talking about it? That's how I view this kind of banter on the post. I'm not saying we don't want you to comment on the post, not at all. But if you're having an issue, message me about it and we'll take care of it. But if you want to bring it out publicly, if you want to hold the discussion publicly and you want to hold me to the fire publicly, then I'm going to defend myself publicly. Because that's, I mean, and I swear Aphrodite, has been very, very helpful with, office management and stuff lately. And we talk about once a week. We talk about once a week. I always check in to make sure she doesn't have any questions that she can't answer or whatever. And every week now it's the same thing. It's the same complaints every week. Steve, I don't think they read these emails at all. Like, no, they don't. But I will say my life has been far less stressful ever since she came on board and started absorbing those conversations. Because it's amazing. She goes, Steven, they're replying to the email telling me that there's no information in the email and it's all in the email they're replying from. Yep. And that's why I'm paying you. Thank you. So it's that kind of situation. So guys, you got to read, man. You got to pull some responsibility. One of the things I think I'm going to do is I'm going to create a meme later this week in the group, because one of the complaints I got from one person was, there's just so many emails. I can't keep track of them. And I'm like, really? Like, because to be honest with you, as an educational provider in the balloon world, I'm aware of several other educational providers that email you a hell of a lot more than I do. I've literally had to take myself off their mailing lists. One of them I was getting emails from 6 times a day. 6 times a day. It was literally like today's the big day. 8 hours left of this day's sale. 6 hours left, 5 hours left, 4 hours left. I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. No. But then I figured it was just one time, right? So I let it go. But then every day turned into this. We're 30 minutes away from this class. We're this and that and blah, blah, blah. No. Too much. Over the 5-week span of these classes, like the Float Foundation, I won't even lie to you, you'll get 8 emails. The name's not necessary. It's not. I mean, and for what's funny is you might be thinking a different person I am. I don't even know. Like I said, there were 2 people in particular that were driving me absolutely nuts, and I had to stop doing it. But yeah, it was getting bad. But I can tell you right now, in the course of a 5-week virtual class, you're going to get 8 emails from me. And I can tell you exactly when they are. First of all, when you sign up for the class, you get an auto response email from planetreg.com. Hey, you're registered for this class. Then the day before the class, you'll get an email from me with the instructions on how to watch the live class. Then after the live class, Then after the live class is over, once it's officially a free replay stream, you'll get an email telling you got 4 weeks. Then you'll get a second email. You'll get another email when it's 2 weeks out. You'll get another email when it's 1 week out. You'll get one more email when it's a couple of days out. Okay? Then you'll get an email when it becomes the $5 option. And then you'll get one last email reminding you, hey, your $5 option's almost done. That's it. So that's it. When it comes to float marketing, general float marketing, it's once a month maybe. And float notes, for those of you registered for the convention, you normally get 1 or 2 a month. Okay? So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to make a meme that's going to show you the headlines, because each email has its own banner. And if it's a general promotional email for Float, then it'll have one banner. If it's a Float Notes banner, it'll have this banner. And if it's a class-specific one, it'll have this banner. And so that way you'll know which one to look for. Okay? So hopefully that'll help. So, all right. So it's after 8 o'clock. I've gone on too long. Let me do a real quick recap. Float Foundation. Number 1, Melissa's class. If you took Melissa's class, your free replay's over. You have until Friday think it's Friday. It's either Friday or Saturday, but let's bank on Friday. You have until Friday to purchase a class for $5. The code is in the email that you were sent on Saturday. For those of you that took Jeff's class, which is all of you that are pre-registered for Float, you all were at least assigned to it. You were all welcome to it. Your free replay is going on now. Check your emails for the instructions on how to watch the free replay. Okay. Also, remember to search for info@floatconvention.com. The email does not come from me anymore. It comes from info@floatconvention.com. That way, Aphrodite gets the stuff. And then finally, the next class, Shannon and Roz, Vinyl is Vital, is coming up later in April. Last day to sign up for that is April 18th. Once again, it's $30 if you are not pre-registered for Float. If you are pre-registered for Float, message me to get a $10 coupon. Okay, so there's that. Tomorrow is the last day to enter our Channel Your Inner Bunny contest. Tomorrow's the last day. 3 categories, 3 prizes given to us by our friends at Premium Balloon Accessories, one of our new sponsors at Float. 3 prizes, all donated by Premium Balloon. Thank you, Premium. Appreciate that. 3 categories. Go to the website. Go to the contest page under the More section for the rules on the contest. Get them in before tomorrow ends. 1 million bubbles going on now. Registration going on now. Get signed up for that. It's April 24th and 25th. And don't forget that DJ Tegro will be joining us once again to help us celebrate 1 million bubbles with a 3-hour mix party going on once again live, either in Facebook or in Twitch or on Instagram or somewhere that we're going to figure out later. Okay. Also, don't forget it is official. The new category for the Floaty Awards will be yard art. We are still working on the definition of what's going to define yard art for the contest. The fantasy flower category is gone. And finally, if you're having issues with your emails, please don't post any. Please message me privately if you're having problems. Okay? I would much rather deal with it that way than to publicly shame you, which is what I'm going to start doing. Or I should say what I'm going to continue to do. Because I don't know what else to do at this point. Because like I said, when I'm nice about it, people don't pay attention. So there we go. All right. Guys, that's it. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate your time tonight. I really appreciate your attention. I really hope, I know that some of you right now are still going through COVID stuff. Okay? Technically, we are too. Our phase 3, our next phase, began last Monday. And since then, the phone has been going off the hook. The emails have gone off. It's great. Calls are coming back in again. The orders are coming back in again. And I got to tell you, we discovered something today that we were kind of shocked by. Now, keep in mind, March is always a slow month for us. But our record sales for March were in 2019. We are literally this close to tying that record this March, which is kind of amazing. So it's giving me a lot of hope. And I showed that number to Alexa today, and she was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." So there's reason to be excited, okay? But remember, all of this can change like that. If we're not careful, if we don't keep going with what we're doing. We're in the 4th quarter, but the game ain't over. You keep fighting until the game is over. So when it comes to COVID, remember to be smart, be safe, be healthy. Stick with it. Don't just, "Oh, we're good now. There's a vaccine." And even if you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean you're not going to get COVID. It means you're probably not going to be hospitalized from COVID. So remember to be careful, because I want to see you at Float. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time tonight. You guys take care, and I will see you very, very soon. Don't forget, tomorrow night, T-Money, TMI with Teresa Harding tomorrow night. Tuesday night, Tuesdays with Tony. As always, he's going to be talking about delivery pieces Tuesday night. I'm really excited about that. And Wednesday night, the Working Wonders are back at it again with social media. All of those are at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see you very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.